Okay, so I'm working on drawing paper as opposed to newsprint because I'm working from home. And this is going to be your intro to planning out your fashion figure, discussing proportion, and then blocking off the body into different shapes just to get your gesture and your pose down. So I'm going to start with just a basic figure template, just very basic, and you will be sketching for your assignment from an actual pose, and we'll also do this with the in-class assignments. So the first thing I want to do is just establish my head. So no head is ever completely circular. So you want to make sure that your head, and I'm using the vine charcoal, is, I like to go ahead and put a cross in there. So it's longer than it is wide. And comes to a point at the chin. So based on the size of my head, I'm going to just come straight down, and that's my plumb line. So the plumb line is an imaginary line that's going to go completely through the body. Okay, just a straight line. That's to make sure your figure is not tilting or anything like that. So what I'm going to do is grid this figure out, and I'm actually going to use my ruler. So my head is about 1.5 inches. So I'm going to go in and just kind of grid this out. Because your proportion for your figure should be at least 9 heads for your fashion figure because it's elongated and we do stylize it. But sometimes you'll find that 10 heads is a very stylized figure, and then you can even go up to 12 heads for your bridal or even wear a special occasion, even some of your couture sketches. Okay, so I'm only at 8, so that means that my head is a little big. So I'm gonna go ahead and draw that again, make it a little bit smaller in proportion. Draw my plumb line. So from that, I want to look at my pose, which she's straight. She looks like she's straight on, but she actually has a slight sort of pelvic tilt that's going. Her shoulder tilt's going this way, waist is going this way, and her hip is going just a slight bit that way. So, and I know it's hard to see the black on black. So I'm going to just mimic those lines. So first, I want to take a look at that. And I also want to look at the proportion between my head and the shoulder. So I know that my shoulder should be out about here. And that's tilting this way. My waist should be about here. And that's also tilting this way. I have a pretty pronounced hip that's tilting this way, and I'm gonna exaggerate it even more because this is stylized. So in fashion, we have what's called the S curve. So your S curve is gonna go around the head, and this is how we give our figures attitude. So it's gonna make just like a curved S and come down the actual figure. Okay. Now what we're doing are building blocks for the fashion figure. All of this, the reason why we're using charcoal and pencil to start is this can be erased, and then you build on this foundation to make sure you have the right proportion, and then you can fill it in to draw your body. So again, we have our head here, we have my shoulders, waist, and I have my pelvis. So what we're going to do now is to just kind of start blocking this off. So the fashion figure is basically just a combination of shapes. I'm going to use a triangle here. Her pelvis is pretty much sort of like a trapezoid shape. So if I know that's her high hip, then this is her low hip here. I kind of think of them like parentheses. So I can go in and draw what looks like this sort of trapezoid thing here. And then her legs, thighs are going to be sort of like a triangle. And her legs are straight on. And they're going to be a little wider at the top. Here's the knee, and then I like to do what I call banana legs here. And then just a kind of triangle for a foot. Arms are coming straight down here. So I'm also going to do just an indication of the arm. Indication of the arm. That's her elbow. The bottom of the arm. And then hand. So I can go in and clean this up. So like here, and go back over it. That's what I like about charcoal. I can start to get rid of what's in the middle. So I can kind of see the figure just a little bit better. I can also go in there and use that charcoal to shade a little bit if I want to. Or I can use my kneaded eraser, which I don't have right now, to go in and clean it up. So right now, you can tell I'm heavy-handed. This is just your kind of stylized figure. And the thing I love about charcoal is it's very forgiving. I'm going to go in and put her neckline in and kind of define her shoulder. Arms are a little bit short in proportion. So what we're going to do is just keep doing a series of drawings until you get comfortable with outlining the figure and catching the pose. I will do a couple of these drawings with more pronounced or common fashion poses. And then for your assignment, you will turn in 20 different poses, so charcoal and 20 in pencil. I'll also do a demonstration in pencil. I do have criteria on there so that you will have to give me some back views, which I'll also demonstrate. And then from the figure, we'll start to isolate the different parts of the body in the upcoming weeks to do faces, focus on hands, feet. But right now, I really want you to learn just proportion, getting the figure down, looking at gestures and poses, and just trying to kind of loosen up and trust your eye instead of your brain when you're drawing. So trust what you see and just break it down into simpler shapes.